I know it's a difficult time for a lot of Israelites, especially when you're new in this truth. This particular holiday, because this is a time when your family, everybody usually gets together and things like that. And, you know, for the most part, you're an outlier now. Like, you're on the outside looking in. So it can be difficult. I was meditating on some of my fondest memories as a child and just in life period came from this season, from this holiday season, from Christmas, before I was in this truth. So I understand how hard it could be, especially if you live with family. It's different if you're on your own. When you're living by yourself, you just shut the door, turn off your phone. But when you're living with people that are so indoctrinated and so into this particular season and holiday, it's hard. So, but I just wanted to say, when you approach the situation, you should do it in love and with compassion, and remember that you were once in their shoes. So it's not necessarily the smartest or wisest thing to go in there, turn the tables over, and telling people how wicked they are and things like that. You got to remember. Let me get that in Ephesians. God, I just had it. Ephesians 2 and 11. You got to remember that you were once in those same shoes. So, go ahead.
John, this is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, "Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcised by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands."
So you don't want to be that person that's calling, you always want to remember that you were in that position at one point. You don't want to be that person that's looking down, or you calling these people uncircumcised and things like that, because it's just not compassionate. It's not empathetic. You're not showing,
mercy.
Yeah, you're not showing mercy. You're not doing unto others the way you would like for them to do unto you. Read on.
Down to verse 12, it says that at that time ye were without Christ, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel.
Right. So, just like you were once without Christ, right now, they don't have this truth necessarily. They're not in it like you are. Read on.
God, it says, "And strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without God in the world."
God. So that's the position that they're in, that you were once in. So you wanna lead with love. You can't approach every situation the same. Of course, sometimes you need a hammer, sometimes you need a screwdriver, right? But just be mindful of that. Think. Use your brain and move forward when you're dealing with family members.
Yeah, I want to add on. I used to have a lot of people that used to ask me, how to deal with a situation like that with their family, especially like when it comes to feast days as well, holiday feast days. They will say, what can they do? Because maybe their mother or father, are moving in such a way where they're not able to do certain things. And one of the things I used to say is, keep it to the best of your ability, because you can only do so much. And a lot of people, when they read the scriptures, they're reading it from a time where there was no excuse for you not to keep it. You know what I'm saying? These holiday feast days. And so yeah, there was punishment that come with it. But, understanding how the Most High is, He's merciful. So He understands that as long as you're striving and enduring to do the best you can, even when it comes to these holidays, just like you were saying, Christmas, since that's the next holiday coming up. For some people, they find it difficult to do certain things. They probably get invited to events that they don't want to go to, and they may not know how to say it, or they don't want to get talked down by their friends or family members. But one thing you got to understand is that as you live more in this truth, you understand that even in the world, you're going to have people that's just going to, disagree with you. And that's okay. Everybody don't have to agree with you. Just like you said, you don't have to go in there flipping tables, or yelling at everybody or talking to them about the origin. They don't want to hear none of that. Just as much as you don't want to hear anything they have to say. So it's one of those things where you just have to find ways to separate. They dislike you this day. They're going to, sometimes, they may continue to still love you. Other times, you still put in that effort to show that you still love them. But from doing certain events or certain things, you have to distance yourself from this because you respect what you believe in. And I know for some people it's hard, but I feel like, just like you were saying, the more wiser you move yourself in situations, being more peaceful, it will actually give you more time to step away from things like that. It's kind of like you sneaking away, but not physically. It's through how you speak to certain people that believe in things that you once followed as well. You find ways to kind of sneak yourself away from it. So they know eventually, oh yeah, this is not something they celebrate. This is not something they do. And some people may think think of it as, oh, you just don't want to deal with the family. But as long as you show love and support throughout every day, you don't have no choice but to see that, you're still there for them. Just not on those times. Just not them times. But every day, you still show them love and support. Just not for the things that is not right to keep according to the Most High. Not right to follow. So it's always just moving in wisdom and patience. And speaking when it's the right time. Not going out there with anger, all the time. Just try to keep the peace the best you can, and just separate yourself.
Because when you first come in this thing, like, you be so on fire. Like, everybody got to hear, what the knowledge that you've acquired. And when it comes to them holidays, we know that we're not supposed to keep them. So we have this urge to just spout out and just go at everything and everyone. And it's not always the wisest thing. I was gonna say something, bro. So for the people that have been in this thing, one of the things that I've, like I said, some of my fondest memories as a child was, this season. So it's important that for your kids and for the people that's coming up behind you, that you make it just as eventful. You got to make it just as eventful and just as joyous for your holidays, for your feast of dedication. Because really, Christmas and Hanukkah, or Feast of Dedication, is going head to head in this season. So your kids go to school and they're seeing, they're being indoctrinated by their teachers as well, and a lot of the Christmas spirit is being forced on them. So in my household, we try to make Hanukkah like the best thing ever. We give gifts, and we just make it, it's they're not necessarily going to understand the reason for the season until they get a little bit older, but for the kids, it's really all about, the surprises and the gifts and just the festivities of it all. So we try to just make it as just this great time, so that when they do get older, it's pretty much the hell with Christmas. Like Christmas, like we celebrate. That's our thing. So, anything else? Huh? Battery's dying?
No.
Anything else? You got anything,
No,
Shakur?
we're good.
All right. So, like I said, this is the end of our Feast of Dedication. We actually finished up yesterday, but we're going to close out today. And, you know, going forward, just support the channel, subscribe, and, you know, we got more videos coming.
Yeah, share the videos.
Share the videos. Share and like the videos, right? Get that engagement up. Comment. So, all right. Brothers and sisters, shalom.
Shalom.